GN Production presents CSS News today, 2nd April 2018 in Pakistan. First of all, water sharing and shortages. In this, actually, we will explain you about the. You have heard about the Sintas Mawda, and this is about that. The latest meeting of Permanent Indes Commission between Pakistan and India has just concluded in Delhi with a renewed request from Islamabad for a visit to various sites of the Indus Basin in held Kashmir. The sites include, as per media report, the Kishan Ganga and the Rattle hydropower projects on the Jhelum and Chenab River respectively, as well as the Nur Pakal, Dul and Lower Dalnai hydropower projects also on the Chenab. The number of these runoff the river hydropower projects that India is building on the river whose water belong to Pakistan under the Indus Water Treaty is increasing, and given the severe shortages that are now occurring with the growing frequency in these rivers. The treaty's provisions for dispute resolution concerning the use of these waters is being tested. In the days to come, in future meetings of PIC, it is imperative that both countries talk to each other in good faith, make all requests for inspections on firm grounds instead of mere suspicions, and also make all the arrangement for on-site visits. Water diplomacy between Pakistan and India means both countries must not be allowed to become entangled in the territorial and boundary disputes that otherwise mar their ties. For the government of Pakistan, it is also crucial to monitor the severe shortages of water in the Jhelum River. As far as possible, keep a close eye on downstream flows from Mangala, how the diminished stock of water is being used, and how its allocations are being impacted due to reduced stream flows is as important an issue for Pakistan's future as in the question of how the flows are being impacted by the hydropower works being built on the Indian side of the river. At the end of the day, both countries are facing a common challenge when it comes to their water economy, climate change. No amount of acrimony and point scoring over water projects will help either of them to manage the highly erratic river flows, snow and rainfall patterns of the future. The leadership of the water bureaucracy in both the countries needs to play the lead role in sensitizing their fellow citizens and political leadership about the importance of keeping a cooperative path going forward. The Indus Water Treaty has well withstood the test of time, and its provisions are working down to the present day in providing a platform for the settle post-modern water conflicts. But climate change is a different ballgame, and more than the treaty, the spirit of cooperation built between the water bureaucrats on both sides is what will carry the two countries to the coming storms. Threats from IS. The statement by the National Counter-Terrorism Authority Chief Ihsan Ghani at a news conference on Friday that the militant Islamic State group poses a real threat to Pakistan comes as no surprise to announce the watching regional developments. The growing presence of IS in Afghanistan, he said, is bound to have spillover effects in this country. This is a logical interference. Indeed, one can argue that IS already has a presence here. Several acts of terrorism in recent years have been claimed by that group. Among them are church bombing in Quetta a few days before the Christmas last year, the bombing of several shrines, including that of Shah Nurani in Balochistan and Lal Shehbaz Qalandar in Sindh, and the kidnapping and the murder of two Chinese nationals in Quetta, etc. There is also a reason to fear that IS affiliated Pakistani militants returning from Syrian civil war could unleash further violence in this country. Nevertheless, the country's leadership has tended to downplay the clear and present danger from IS. Former Interior Minister Chaudhry Nassar Ali, for example, consistently consistently denied the group's presence in Pakistan soil, once doing so only days after IB Director General Aftab Sultan has stated to the contrary. The most recent assertion by Mr. Ghani about the threat to Pakistan from IS should, in theory, carry weight. After all, he heads the body that is supposed to oversee counter-terrorism operation in the country on a strategic level. Unfortunately, despite 9 years having passed since it was formed, NECTA remains toothless and ineffectual according to the law under which it operates. The body's mandate is to formulate a national counter-terrorism strategy and monitor its implementation and collate information from all intelligence agencies to produce national threat assessment reports for the government. Instead, NECTA's progress has been halting and piecemeal. The draft of long pending national counter-terrorism strategy has also last November been submitted to the government. Intelligence agencies still tend to work in silos, reluctant to share information with each other, precluding the cohesive approach necessary to stamp out every vestige of terrorism in which IS is but one player. In order for NATO to play the role originally envisaged for it, the government must recognize the importance of civilian input at the federal level in fight against terrorism. Failing this, the military operations cannot possibly be sustained. Mobilizing women voters. In Pakistan, the impression that women tend to be less knowledgeable about politics than men should be removed. Such a mindset is the reason why political parties appear to have little confidence in female poll candidates, and few women with electoral ambitions have broken through such gender prejudice. On Friday last, Ajmaat-e-Islami parliamentarian from Swat, Aisha Said, announced that women in Dir would vote in this year's election, a happy change for the last 4 decades, which saw political parties of all stripes glued to keep women out of voting process in many KP districts. Ms. Said's observation about also came on the heels of the vote cast by the thousands of the women in the recent Upper Dir by election. They have voted for the first time since 1977. This repoll took place because of the previous results have been annulled by the ECP, as women had constituted less than 10% of the voters, a violation of the law. There is perhaps reason to hope after the women participation will gradually increase in the electoral politics with the reforms being implemented and political parties inducting more women candidates. Besides patriarchy holding women back, there are other reasons why they are less likely to vote. If they believe their voices are not going to affect change, and if they are sidelined by the political parties. For this to change, Election Commission of Pakistan must not only proactive in registering women voters, it must also ensure separate polling booths, security and transport to polling stations for them. And it must warn known offenders against deliberately disenfranchising women. Party leadership have Here to focus on the value of female enfranchisement and to increase the recruitment of women candidates from diverse backgrounds. If this were to happen, female constituents would never that lawmakers take the need to increase their representation in government seriously. Bringing women to polls is a winning formula for all parties because women without political affiliation will remain undecided voters until the end, and they respond well to the tissue based concern.